Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wes here with Great East Space. I am back for Road to Glory, episode 10. This is the series where I kind of document my journey through SoRare. The competitions I'm competing in, the players I'm buying, the players I'm selling, kind of the thought process behind what I'm doing, and a little bit of a behind the curtains view of someone else who is on their SoRare journey, trying to figure it out as they go. So, I know it's been a little while since I've posted. My videos have slowed down a little bit. I've just been super busy with work and personal life. Really busy season of my life right now, so apologize for that. If you didn't see, I made a short but hopefully sweet appearance on the SoRare podcast with Hybe and You Never Walk Alone, and Quinny was the other guest on the show. So that was a lot of fun. It got cut very short. One of my dogs had a seizure. She's doing well now. This isn't the first one she's had, but she's made a good recovery, so grateful for that. But bummed that I didn't get to kind of, join in and talk through the rest of the show with the guys. They obviously did a great job as always, and really, grateful that they reached out and had me on in the first place. They talked about reward structure, which was something I was excited to talk about, and I'll dive into that in a little bit here. But since it's been a while, I will jump in and show you guys kind of what's transpired over the last week or so since my last video. So game week 160 finished up, and my teams did not do well. So as you can see here, my D4 Champion America, 183 points. So that was just brutal, terrible. First game of the weekend for me, Przemysław Titan got a DNP. Had a little bit of tightness in pregame warm-up. Didn't end up getting the start. So something I'm monitoring going into this week. I have as a backup Cody Cropper as well. So I'm going to have to make the decision of who I have in my lineup. I'll have to make that tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see if there's any news out there. But that'll be something to kind of keep an eye on, especially if you have Titan, one of the cheaper MLS goalies. And then Adam Buksa and Carlos Heel are my two, New England Revolution attackers. They didn't have a great game, either of them. And then Miles Robinson did okay, and Bruin did okay. So just a very mediocre week from the guys who did play. So kind of a wasted week there, but hopefully they all got it out of the way and they're ready to have a big weekend this coming weekend. Anibal Godoy, I won him as my reward last time in the first game week of MLS, so I thought I'd throw the captain on him. Probably a bad decision. I should have just left it on Cavallini. But my thought was, he's probably going to put up I thought Godoy would put up a consistent, 50 to 60 points. And just, Cavallini, there was a chance I thought that he could, not score and potentially be in the 30 range. But that was just a bad decision. So Cavallini will regain his captain band in America's D4 this week, I believe, or Global All-Star D4 this week. So, but we'll get to that. Kessler did well, Lima did okay, Allison did okay. It was good enough for .01, just shy of .02. Captain decision really haunted me. I put it on my lowest performing player. So got too cute and I got burned for it, but that's okay. .01, still happy with that. And I actually took that .01 and I used that in an offer that got accepted. So let's hop over and look at my club. There are a few new additions. Some guys left the team, some guys joined the team. This is cool, I thought, too. So they made some changes that just got released today. You can put a little Hall of Fame up here. I don't know what best five means. I've never really understood that. But then they got your squads. You can build different kind of teams that, you can advertise different ways, like up for trade or, my favorite players. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. But I did fill in my Hall of Fame here. My Julian Dessart, 1 of 100, 2018, first card of his ever minted. Ethan Horvath, 2018. I think the 2018 cards are cool. They're just going to be, more rare, more scarce as time goes on. And Sebastian Blanco, his number 10 card, and he is number 10, so jersey number card. So that was just kind of cool. I think Blanco's a great player too. Carlos Heel, I just had to work so hard to get this card. I reached out to so many different people and finally got a deal done. So that's just kind of a cool card for that reason. And probably the most expensive card I have, maybe. Potentially Tim Melia, maybe. But anyways. And then Miles Robinson is just kind of my rock on defense. Just super consistent. Don't even have to think about it. Plug him into my lineup. And a young guy, so I'll be able to do that for a long time to come still. And my Hall of Fame secondary or sixth man of the year, if you will, is this microphone. So I finally got a microphone. I don't know. Yeah, you guys can kind of see it down here. So I hope it is doing well. I tested it out before I started the video, just for, you know, a short 20-second video. And it sounded like it was doing okay. If there's awful audio, I'll just scrap this and re-record, but hopefully it is okay. And if, you know, it sounds funny at some point, let me know and I can tweak it. I'm learning as I go with this. Not tech savvy, to say the least. Anyways, my cards. So what I was going to show you. So that 0.01 ETH I got, I threw that in with some other ETH I had from a previous sale, and I got Gustavo Bo. So Bo is forward for New England Revolution, as well as Carlos Heel and Adam Buxa. So now I kind of just have this 3-person stack of Bo, Heel, and Buxa. Then I think I'm going to roll out most weeks in America's D4. At least that's the thought right now. And the reason I'm excited about that is because they're a team that plays a very attacking style of soccer. You know, they would rather outscore the opponent than have a 0-0 draw. They'd rather have a 3-3 draw than a 0-0 draw, I think is what their coach said. So that's exciting, you know, to have a lot of the attacking pieces. My thought is, you know, Carlos Heel kind of is the engine that makes that team run. So he'll probably pick up a lot of assists. And, you know, Bo and Buxa are the 2 strikers who will be picking up the goals. So, yeah, if they're scoring 3 goals, there's a good chance, you know, I'll get a two goals and an assist out of it or something like that. At least a goal and an assist. So that's kind of the route I'm going to go. And if New England has a big week, it'll put me in a really good position to win a reward. You know, and then I have Miles Robinson in my defense, just kind of holding it down with a consistent 60 to 70 points. And then hopefully I can get the goalie position right. And if that happens, I'll be in good shape for challenge for a reward when New England has a good game. So that's kind of the benefit of stacking, is you don't have to have as many things go right. And when I say stacking, I mean playing players from the same team. And the benefit of that is if the team has a good game, most likely the players, you know, multiple of your players will also have a good game. So you just need less things to go right for you to kind of be in a position to be successful. So another common stack you'll see is a defender and a goalie stack. So, you know, if you have Tim Melia, for example, the Kansas City goalie, you could go get Fontas, relatively cheap center defender. Or I've got Miles Robinson, right? So maybe I go pick up Brad Guzan. And then if the Atlanta defense has a good game, they get a shutout, Miles Robinson and Guzan are both going to have really good scores. So it just kind of ties your players together so that you don't have to have as many things go right when you think about kind of the big picture of all the different games over the course of a weekend. So anyways, Gustavo Bo, was excited to get him. Let's hop over here and take a look at him real quick. And this video may go a little bit longer just because I haven't been doing as many videos. So just going to kind of catch you up on everything, go into a little bit more detail, and then we'll wrap it up, you know, as quick as I can while still sharing everything I want to share. So Gustavo Bo, his prices have come down. So he was trading around 2.3. This must have been me. I got him at 181. But, you know, he's just a goal scorer, right? He scores goals or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, he's going to be in the 30 to 40 range. If he does, he'll be up, you know, 60 to 90 range. But pretty consistent track record. I like this toggle right here on SoRare Data. 1 year is a very good view. But, you know, just kind of looking at the history of some of these players, I like to blow it up and see everything. It's probably not as relevant once you start getting back here. You know, you're looking 2 years out, but just kind of lets you see kind of the history of the player, their whole track record. Obviously, you know, the most recent being the most important, but the whole picture, you know, sometimes it tells a different story. So I just like to check it. But a very consistent player, has been for a long time. And then today I picked up Hans Delcroix and Shunki Higashi. I traded with Pal Trader on these. I gave up a little bit of extra value, but it was guys that I had in my club that weren't doing anything. They weren't selling. I had them listed, you know, around what the auctions were going for. No one was picking them up. So I just kind of bundled them together and got some guys from Pal Trader who I thought were undervalued. So let's take a look at them real quick. So Hans Delcroix, the nice thing about SoRare Data, which I'm sure everyone's figured out, not anything new, is you can just kind of put in pieces of the name. You don't have to, if you don't know how to spell it, you don't remember right, you can just put in a little segment of it and it can figure it out. But anyways, Hans Delcroix, a last 40 of 56, and he's only 22. To me, that is prime when you're thinking about what kind of players you want to be investing in. Guys who are young are talented enough to have already been playing, 73% of the last 40 games, even though he's only 22 years old, and also talented enough to be putting up big scores. So very consistent. Let's blow this up, look at everything. Very consistent with some nice upside too. A handful of scores up above 60, 70 points. So really excited about this. He's got an injury right now. He plays for RSC Anderlecht, which is one of the better teams in the Jupiler League. They're actually in the playoffs. So if he returns from injury, I might get a few games out of him this year where I could plug him in my Global All-Stars because I don't have enough players to fill out a full Challenger Europe lineup. But yeah, was super excited to pick him up. I think he's a great player. 0.065, I think that's a bargain. And then the other guy is Shunki Higashi, I think. Yeah, this is him. So 20-year-old midfielder in the J1 League. I don't have a full Asian League team yet. Would like to get there. I'm kind of debating between, because obviously the goalie, right? That's the big expenditure. So I've got to figure out if I want to go for Euro Challenger and start building up there during the off season, or start building an Asian team that I can compete with today for rewards. But looking at him, it's kind of cool. So like if we go back on this time frame a little bit, looking at the price graph. So obviously he had the big ramp up. He had his highest sale at 0.288. But then he kind of trended here for a while between 1.5 and 2. Now he's all the way down. Some went for 0.055, which is crazy. The most recent sold for just under 0.1. 3-day average 0.81. I think he's a great value. 20-year-old midfielder. And none of this is investment advice. You guys know that every time, right? You do your own research. This is my opinion. I thought he was a great value, so I went and targeted him and tried to pick him up. Super young kid. A lot of these games he wasn't starting. This was coming off the bench, right? This year, he's been a consistent starter. So this was the first game week, I believe. Yeah, so 126 to 146. So game week 146 started this year. And you can see he's just been really consistent. And he's had some upside. So that's a really solid midfielder who's 20 years old. I'll be able to use him in U23. I'll be able to use him in Asia League for the next 3 years in U23, and then obviously for the next 10, 12, 15 years in Asian leagues, depending how his career goes. So I was really excited to pick up a copy of his. And those are the additions I've made to my gallery lately. So now we got this game week closing. I've got 2 main lineups I'm rolling out. I've got my Global All-Star D4. Which is pretty similar to what I showed last time, I believe. Alisson Kessler. I did put Higashi in there, Anibal Godoy, and Cavallini, who did get his captain band back. Learned my lesson there. So we're pushing for the 0.02, hoping for that, at least hoping to get the 0.01 at the very minimum, but not expecting a card by any means there. And then Champion America. And if you see these lineups, well, I'll go back to this, right? But so my D4 lineup here. So right now I've got Titan in there. I'm gonna have to keep an eye. And if he wasn't training full today, if he's in full training tomorrow, which they said they're gonna try and do, I'll probably leave him in there. But if he's not, I'll probably switch and have Cody Cropper. That's the challenging part, right? Is sometimes you just got to make the decision with the the way the window closes, and once it does, it's locked. So I'll just have to make a decision. And see what the news looks like tomorrow on that situation. Miles Robinson at defense, and then my New England trio of attackers with Carlos Heel getting the captain's band. So super excited about this lineup. Assuming I can get the goalie right, I think I've got a really good chance to push for a reward here. And the last thing I was going to say is, you see these D3 lineups I have in there. That's only to get extra experience bonus. So when you have a team in a Champions or Challenger tournament, as opposed to just in special training, they get a little bit more experience, I think. I was in a conversation with some guys on Twitter talking about this. I don't know for 100% sure if that's right. You definitely get at least as much and potentially a little bit more. So I try to throw my extra players in the D3 lineups when I can. If I can't, it's not a big deal. Throw them in training. Just make sure you get that EXP boost, because that lets you, get that extra little percent bonus on their score, which over time, you can get up to a 10% bonus on your rare cards, which is very significant, right? If you get 10% on all 5 players, that's 50%. That's, half a player that you're getting for free. So it adds up. So make sure you guys are doing that, getting your training. Again, apologies for not having as many videos lately. I will try to step it up, but I've been super busy. I'll make them as frequently as I can. I promise you that. And yeah, I've enjoyed talking to everybody in Discord, on Twitter, down in the comments. So continue to engage with me. I've got some really cool things I'm working on that I will hopefully be able to roll out soon. Waiting on, a couple pieces of feedback from a few different people. Trying to put it together, but once I get that and it's ready to roll out, I'm really excited about it. I think you guys will be too. So stick around, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate everybody. Hope you all have a great day and a great game week 162 this weekend. All right, everybody.